Florida State averages. I think you know the game plan if you're the Hurricanes. I think you know where you got to stop it. But here's the interesting part for me. Tommy Castellanos is a big part of that. So Miami, you have to decide, is he going to beat you with his arm? Or are you going to be vulnerable to the rushing attack of the Seminoles? This is a fascinating matchup. I think I like Florida State.
How did you think he looked last week? They gave up 46 against Virginia. They have to bounce back. You could say they were looking ahead, but normally that means your offense did not play well. They scored 38. So I don't know what it was, but maybe Virginia is just better than what we thought. But if you're scoring 46 on Florida State with that quarterback in Virginia, what do you think Carson Beck can do to that defense the way they've looked? And also, Mikey, it's pretty obvious to me their coaching staff wants to show the world every single week how good they are. If they can win 60-0, damn it, they're going to try to win 60-0.
I agree. Yeah, for me, it's as bad as the Florida State defense did look against Virginia. I think this is a team, I hate that, right? Oh, they were looking past Virginia. But I do think when you look past Virginia and you get punched in the mouth or trampled on because Virginia beat you and they stormed the field, whatever you want to say, now you really have a gut check opportunity here for Florida State. Do you want to rise to the occasion? Because your defense was just embarrassed. And now you're going to go up against Miami? And you think you're going to have a better performance, you just need to be average in comparison to what you were against Virginia. So that's a great point, Coach. I think if the Florida State defense plays like Virginia, I'm not just smashing the over, like I said last week, I'm hammering the over.
It could be we've seen in the NFL a lot of bad beats when it comes to totals. Big first halves, nothing in the second half. It doesn't happen so much in college. So I'm with you. I'm gonna absolutely hammer this total. All right, the last one graphically, and then we're gonna hit on a couple others just verbally. But in the SEC, Mississippi State last week missed a golden opportunity to take a giant step forward. There's a reason they don't have a number next to their name. Flip side, Texas A&M. For several years, they had the big money, $100 million a year head coach. That didn't work out. They got rid of him. Then they're trying to bring in all these different players. That didn't work out, so they brought in new ones. I feel like, Mikey, maybe they've hit the jackpot because they go on the road to Notre Dame, score more than 40. Their offense has been amazing. Their quarterback could be the best in the entire league, and they're laying almost 16 points against a Bulldogs team who took Tennessee, who gave Georgia a run and should have beaten Georgia all the way to overtime last week. Is this number a little bit too high?
No, because Marcel Reed will establish his Heisman candidacy against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Coach, very quickly, I know I always have all these little factoids. I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Do you know how many games Mississippi State has played outside of Mississippi this year?
Outside of the state of Mississippi?
Yep.
Well, I know last week was at home against Tennessee, so I'm guessing since you asked me that, probably the answer is 0.
Goose egg. They played Southern Miss on the road, and now they've played 4 straight home games. Now you take all of that and you go to Texas A&M. What a Heisman candidate. One of the best atmospheres in college football. Good luck. That's all I got to say. Good luck.
Good luck.
I could see not only this overhitting, I could see this spread hitting. I think Marcel Reed really establishes himself as the nation's best quarterback, especially as a dual threat. This kid is electric. We saw it last week with the quarterback out of Oregon. Now we're starting to see these Heisman candidates really come to light, and I think we're going to see Marcel Reed kind of running that front of that race.
And normally this is the time of year where you start to see that race take some sort of form, because now most of the games are conference games, and certainly in the SEC, every week you're playing somebody halfway decent, if not really, really good. And so now we got to keep our eyes on these quarterbacks that mostly live in the SEC. 2 other quick games I want to hit on, then we're going to hit on your upset special. Speaking of the SEC, Texas and the Arch Manning experiment, they're still a top 10 team. They are 3-1. They haven't looked that good, but I think they've steadied the ship just a little bit. They have a chance, Mikey, to really put a nail in the coffin of Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. They would fall to 1-4 if they lose to Texas in Gainesville this week. Is this a job-saving game for Billy?
Yeah, I think it's a legacy game for both. Arch Manning, can you get a coach fired? Not that you want to have that on your resume, but that's the reality of the situation. And when you beat a team like Florida, no matter ranked, unranked, they are still a good team. There was a reason why they were ranked to start the year. They have talent on the field. It could come down to coaching. So Billy Napier, he's got to coach for his job. And I think Arch Manning's got to play for a little bit more of that national respect back. You go into Gainesville, you have a performance of a lifetime against the Gators, people will remember that.
Okay. So that game is at 3:30 Eastern on Saturday. Only 5.5-point spread. I'm ready to pull the trigger on Texas, less than a touchdown, because they still have something to play for. Florida is just trying to play. They already have 3 losses. They know they're not going to the playoffs. Texas still believes they're a playoff team. So you got to win games like this. At least this is what I believe. I want you to tell me if you agree with this. That when you have a game against a name that's not as good, sometimes the voters, when you get to December, they beat Florida by 30, as the Gators have that name value. So when you're playing the game, are they thinking about it? Is Steve Sarkisian going, man, we got to put a beat down on these Gators?
Yeah, it's 100%. It's exactly what I was referring to. There is name value, because think about this. If you're just going off name value, you're like, oh, they lost opening week to Ohio State, but it was a close game. And they beat Florida by, like you said, 30. Oh, this team can dominate, big programs in college football. We've got to put them, instead of 11th, we got to put them at 7.